Alright, and we're back to it, my friends. Thank you for standing by. Thank you for the GG EpiPen. So the thing is, it's about 4:45 almost. I can stream until 6. I've got a pretty firm cutoff tonight at 6. We've got, I think, 2 levels left. 2 or 3 levels left. Fingers crossed, everybody, because if I don't beat it tonight, we have to do the whole game from scratch next time. Like, not necessarily next stream, but next time we play this. This week, what's coming up is yeah, don't tell me things about the game, EpiPen. I really don't like that kind of thing. I saw I have 2 more items to collect. That doesn't negate the possibility of a boss level or the really strange situation of maybe 2 items being in one stage. Don't assume I know things just because you see them on the screen, okay? I'm a remarkably dense guy. It's easy for me to miss stuff. Yeah, if all you mean is there's 2 things on the checklist, but if you know that for a fact there's 2 more levels left, please don't tell me things like that. Alright, thank you. I get that, like, people get enthusiastic about stuff sometimes, like, and I feel bad. I feel bad when I have to shut stuff like that down, but, like when I make it to one of the things that happens more often than I would like it to is when I make it to the final level, people get excited and they're like, last level, here we go, and it's like, well, I didn't know that, so I wish you hadn't told me. That's one that unfortunately I come across a lot. I know it makes me a jerk sometimes, but I just really like to keep the surprise alive. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we do have, you're alright, we have 2 things left to get, which probably means 2 levels, but I can't say for sure, because there's this door, there's a Morticia door, and there's a Wednesday door, right? So including the level I'm on now, that would be 3, but I don't know if one of those is like a mini game, or a bonus item, or another terrible level I have to defeat. That's a nice effect with Granny in the background. It's awfully busy though. The environment is awfully distracting. You're Agent Frownie. A little jerkiness is allowed. Well, you know. I do speak more harshly. I do speak more harshly than I would like to sometimes, especially when a game has me irritated. Oh. I try to be nice. Yeah, I mean, I will agree, it is a cool effect. Like, the way that the way they've done the level inside the crystal ball like this. But, it doesn't make it easy to play. Which I suppose is what they're going for, right? So... Oh, here's the thing. I know that looked really dumb. I was so distracted by the environment that I didn't even see those chains. Gain a heart to lose a heart to gain a heart. Granny is judging your every movement. And harshly, too. And harshly, too, I can only assume. I did not even see these chains. These chains might as well have been invisible. Everybody gets gamer rage. There are only so many, right? There's only so many degrees of frustration that the human mind and heart can endure all at once. I overdid it. If you were Agent Happy, it might be a little suspect, but with Frown in the name, it comes with the territory. No! Oh. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. The knights, it really... I was skeptical about it when I first encountered them. I was hesitant to try jumping on the knights because of that sword. I thought for sure it was going to end up meaning my doom. Oh, yuck. Oh, double yuck. This game seems very difficult and quite unfair, but I have to say it feels like love was put into it. Well, love for the animated series anyway. There's lots of hate for the player, that's for sure. Yeah, that's the key thing I feel about this game, is that it's very disrespectful of the player. I regret losing my temper with Sonic. I love him, but Sonic 06 was nothing but bugs. So far the worst Sonic game I've played is 3D Blast on the Genesis. I've of course heard that Sonic 06 is pretty awful, but I don't have any first-hand knowledge of it. I've only played the Genesis titles, and I still haven't done. I've done Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, but I haven't done Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I've done Sonic 3 and I've done Sonic and Knuckles separately, but I haven't done the combined cartridge yet. And I've done 3D Blast, and 3D Blast was pretty miserable. The other Sonic games, I'm not really crazy about Sonic. I didn't grow up with them, so I'm definitely in the Mario camp. There are things I like about the Sonic games, but there are some, like, consistent design decisions with Sonic that I really don't like. I don't like the way the timer works. That's probably the thing that bugs me the most. Because it has these, like, big sprawling levels with lots of secrets that I'm inclined to want to wander around and explore, and then it's got this limited timer that persists across your extra lives to just completely discourage any exploration. To just punish your curiosity at every turn. And I really don't like having my curiosity punished. Yeah, Spinball. I haven't played Spinball yet. I do have that one, though. I haven't ever gotten the true ending in a Sonic game yet either, to get all the Chaos Emeralds. I'd like to do that. I'd like to get all the Chaos Emeralds, at least in the Genesis games, but I'm not in a rush. No, I don't ever play a game fast. And that's the whole thing. The whole thing about Sonic being fast is just a lie. Those levels are not made to be done fast. Those levels are made to be done at a leisurely pace. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast is just propaganda spread by Dr. Robotnik to cause the player to get Sonic in trouble. I don't believe it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for gotta go fast. It's a lie. If you were a kid and really loved the animated show, that love is probably gone as a result of playing this game. The water levels. That, the music when the water is... ironic to not be in a rush when talking about Sonic. I don't think you like the 3D modern games very much. Most of them have a lot more story stuff. You might like the Master System games, though. I think they're underrated. Yeah, not I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really interested in story and games in general, and I can't imagine that Sonic is going to be the franchise to win me over. To be fair, I've never played a Sonic game with a lot of story. It could be incredible, but I have my suspicions that it's not. I can jump on this enemy. That I would have bet every dollar I've ever seen that alligator would kill you if you tried to jump on it. Oh, this is a rude level. Sonic had a lot of good mechanics, beautiful level design, and pixel art. Didn't my grandmother have a pet alligator at some point? Couldn't say. I wouldn't be surprised. Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies had an alligator. This is a tough level. This is a really tough level. Guessing the timing of this alligator is going to be rough too, because there's no indication before it comes up. You just have to have a really good feel of the time, I think. It's like Jump King. There's too... There's too much nonsense to deal with. There's too much nonsense to deal with, and I can't see anything. Ugh. There's no way I'm going over there for those coins. There's no way I'm going over there, game. Rude. Oh. What? I don't know what I keep hitting my head on. Oh, this is miserable. Oh, I have a raid coming in. Had Sonic 1 and 2 for the Master System. My console had Alex Kidd and Miracle World installed on it. Angelus, thank you for the raid, my friend. Hope your Final Fantasy is going smoothly. It's gotta be going better than this game at the very least. I've actually made a really good deal of progress in this game tonight. It's just the problem is it's all ephemeral. Why? The platforms are swinging, and they're slippery, and I can't see them. It's the perfect storm of janky platforming. The platforms are moving, they're slippery. The platforms aren't really slippery, it's just the physics in general are slippery. Everything feels a little icy. But, yeah, the platforms are moving, slippery, and invisible. Made great progress. No pet alligator on either show, EpiPen says. Addams family had a pet cat that was actually a lion. That sounds like fun. I feel like my cat is a very lion-like. One of the worst characters after one of the best characters left my party. Didn't seem like a really good trade, but at least I can heal people without magic, so it makes up for how useless he is otherwise. I've never played all the way through a Final Fantasy game, so I'm not really gonna understand any of the mechanics. But you know, I imagine free healing sounds to me like one of the best things you can have. I did play Mystic Quest. I always forget about that. I don't think I learned a ton. I don't think I really learned a ton from that playthrough, though. No, I disagree. I don't know, Angelus. I can't, the name isn't familiar to me offhand, but... It's also not always easy to remember everybody you come across. Oh, cool. Glad I fell in that pit. That was awesome. Oh, I didn't even see that heart there before. I need that. This is probably in the top 5 worst SNES games, Jozo says. I don't hate it as much as I did a couple hours ago. I'm not gonna defend it. I definitely recommend against playing it, but... If it didn't have the completely garbage... If it didn't have the completely garbage rob you of your 1-ups mechanic, it would be tolerable, I think. I hate that so much that it eclipses everything else from my view. Question. Say someone found a game they wanted you to play on a website like eBay or whatever. Would you allow them to donate you directly the money it would cost to buy said game? I ask this because I'm willing to pay a markup for games for you that I would like to see played if it means I can just get the game to you and not have you search for it. This way there's like no address sharing involved. I'm open to the idea, Chozo, and I have done that kind of thing before. So we could talk about that. We could talk about that. I want to make sure it's something that I really want to play though, because I don't want to rope myself into something like. But yeah, we could maybe do something like that if you had the funds and that's how you wanted to spend them. Cows, for example. Cows funded the purchase of a copy of Wetrix, which we didn't play a lot on the stream. I don't know how far I could actually get through that game. And Claricinality funded Hades. So we've done that kind of thing a couple times. I have nothing in mind right now. Waiting for you to throw out ideas. If one of them sticks to me, we're gonna make Frownie play this. Right on. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. And you can just reach out to me. My whispers are open, so you can hit me with a whisper anytime, and we can take a look-see. I don't need to physically own a lot of cartridge games because I have a lot of flashcards. They're not the most up-to-date flashcards, so they can't necessarily play their entire libraries, but you know, they play a really good percentage. So for most cartridge games, I'm pretty well covered. Things on discs, though, I do have to stick to original discs currently. Your birthday coming up in 10 days. Happy early birthday, Angelus. Hey, we got more raiders coming in. Oh, happy early birthday, Chozo, as well. Yaden, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome in, Jim. Thank you for coming along. It says retro. Was it truly a retro night? Was it more Mario All-Stars? I don't remember if you had business left in that one yet or not. Love to hear what you were up to. Still trying to finish the Lost Levels. Lost Levels is Lost Levels is one Mario game that I really just don't like all that much. Got to 8-4, but couldn't finish. Tapped out for the night. I have every confidence that you're gonna make it through. I mean, I do believe you played through it before. If I understood correctly. I can definitely recommend giving our friend Yaden a follow, my friends. You have very chill stream, retro gamer, and professional wrestler. Been playing things like playing a modern game, V Rising, a lot lately, but also recently started the journey to complete every Super NES game, beginning with Mario All Stars. I believe you've been working at the NES library as well, right? Since long before that. Is the NES? Are you doing the complete NES challenge too, or did I misunderstand? Lost Levels I beat for the first time last year. Chozo says. Game is literally a ROM hack made in '86. Yeah, Lost Levels is not great. The West got the far superior Mario Brothers 2. Never finished Lost Levels. Not as fun as the others in the 2D series. Yeah. The level design of the Lost Levels is just, it's kind of janky, and it's super trolly in a way that's just not, this is not really in the Mario spirit. I don't think, like sort of like Mario games can have some decent decently difficult challenges, but like trolley type challenges really aren't in the spirit of a typical Mario game. I don't feel like that's more Mario Maker. NES 2. Have to go back and reconcile my list, trying to find the ones I beat a few years back on the stream, see where I'm at. Yeah, very glad we got the real Super Mario Brothers 2. Hate to run when new friends are just joining, Cal says, but I would be headed off to bed. Good night, Cows. Thank you, as always, for being here. Very grateful for you, my friend. Sleep well, and have a wonderful tomorrow. Have I gone over the list? I meant to go over the list of what we're playing this week. So we should be streaming every night this week, as long as nothing bad comes up. IRL, as long as nothing gets in my way and tires me out or conflicts. I do plan to try and be here every night this week. Should be tomorrow night, Battletoads, Wednesday night, Friday the 13th, Thursday night, Strawberry Shortcake, and Friday night, Splatterhouse 2. We might also do some Super Ghouls and Ghosts on Friday night. I'm thinking about doing another All Treasure Chests playthrough. And we'll do Jump King wherever it fits. If I finish anything early enough, we'll do Jump King at the end of any stream where we have some extra time. And if I don't get to it by Friday, we might start Friday night with Jump King. It's probably how that will go. To date, NES Mario games I've only beaten the first one on stream. That was the first time, because I never beaten it as a kid. Still need to finish 2 and 3. Hope you do, Angelus. There's some fantastic games. The insane amount of awkward jumps in the Lost Levels are what gets me, Aiden says. Didn't get very far back in the day. Hey, Nato, welcome in. Hope all's well. Hope everyone in chat as well. Been lurking away for a while. Thank you for the lurk, Nato. I'm sure from what you've seen on the stream, you have definitely become convinced that this is a game you need in your life, right? I'm sure this playthrough is selling everyone on this one. Look at this slowdown. I really don't know how you're supposed to do that. Oh, I was really hoping this would have been the boss. I'm not surprised it's not, but I am sad it's not. Oh, awesome. It's so... I have bad things to say about this game. This game's lucky I try to keep my language family friendly. I've got some things I could be saying right now. I rushed that leap to try and get a one up. Oh, look at that. I found a secret. Let's go. Can't hardly complain about that now, can I? I had this game poster on my wall in the background for a while. Never actually played it, though. Yeah, you dodged a bullet, Yaden. I'm absolutely convinced. Yes, it's true. There's no way I wouldn't want to go through this game. Alright, we get to at least see the boss? Oh my goodness. What? Why is it so difficult? Victory! We did it! I can't believe it! First try, let's go! Technically second, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Thank you for the GGs. Victory is ours, Yaden says. Thank you, Malachite, Angelus, Chozo, Sark. Thank you. Wow. That was great. Thank you, Nato. Thank you, Dire Wolf. I'm not exactly sure. Part of that got gobbled up by the auto mod. How many of the MacGuffins do we still need to collect? So, 1. There are 2 doors. There are 2 doors left. The Wednesday door and the Morticia door. I'm not sure which one we need to go through. Probably the Wednesday door? Nope. I can't figure out how to go back downstairs. Alright, probably the Morticia door? There's something you want in the icebox. It's an ice level. I want to love it, but I hate it. I want to love it. I love ice levels, but it's got the game already feels like everything is ice physics. The game already feels like everything is ice physics. So the double ice physics is really gross. But aesthetically it's wonderful. I love the idea, the ice level inside the icebox, and you know, I love snow and ice. Giant wedge of cheese back there. I apologize in advance, Sark says. Oh no. Oh no. This has the same annoying mechanics as the first Addams Family? Yeah, it's very, yeah, this is it's a true sequel to the first game. It's very, very similar, Angelus. Arthritis gives me shaky fingers, sorry. No worries, Direwolf. Well, I knew that was gonna hurt, but I couldn't figure out any other way around it at the moment. There's something I'm not getting about the way this level works. You gotta, okay, I've gotta look for those exclamation points. Hey, a passageway opened somewhere. Oh, this is rough. I don't remember, Angelus. I can't. The thing is about music in video games is that I'm really bad when it comes to music. I don't have a good memory for it at all. It largely goes in one ear and out the other. That's still not open? What? Oh, we're gonna be here a while. I've got an hour and a half. I've got an hour and a half to beat this. I hate these ice blades. I hate these ice blades. Oh my goodness. Is there a worse video game feature? I'm not sure. Web ticks is truly abominable. I don't know if that's a mistype of wet tricks or if it's something I just don't know what it is. Wet tricks. I can see it not being for everyone. I think it's fairly interesting. I don't have the brain power to solve it. It's very confusing. Cannot figure out what this game wants from me right now. It's certainly confusing. I got a few stages into it on my when I played it, but it was tough. It was tough to figure it out. Yeah, I know. This game is slippery enough. It really didn't need a dedicated ice level. I mean, I'm alright. So, you know what? So, just another reason why Super Ghouls and Ghosts is great. Has an ice level, has no ice physics. Alright, it has a beautiful ice level. And it doesn't torture you with ice physics. That's how you do it. You get the wonderful aesthetic, the chill music, but the same gameplay that you know and love. I don't know what this giant sphere in the refrigerator is. Is it a melon? Is it a bowling ball? Is it some kind of round cheese? I guess I got it. I didn't hear the "you were successful" noise. Does Pugsley? I didn't know does Pugsley have a reputation for eating gross foods? I don't know enough about the character. It's bad enough. I can't like. I mean, it would be on brand for the family if it was something repellent. Time to sleep. Great to see you. Enjoy, if you can, the rest of the game. Thank you, Yaden. Thank you again for the raid. Good luck with lost levels next time you pick it up. Whether here or there, I hope that we see you again real soon. I don't know where to go or what to do. Oh. I was supposed to go in there. I figured out what to do. His sandwich is made with the original game's cartridge. I think I missed that before. That's pretty good. That's a pretty gross sandwich. I saw the thing upstairs open. Oh my goodness, we cleared a room. Dollar Phil, welcome in. It's another raid. Thank you, Dollar Phil, for joining us tonight. How did, what are you playing? Double Dragon. Did you finish Double Dragon? I was lurking a little bit on one of the runs. But unfortunately, I didn't get to see a victory. How's this one been tonight? It's a little bit better. I'm enjoying it more tonight than I did last time. It's still a bad game, but I'm doing better with it, so I don't hate it as much. There's still a lot to be real mad about this game, and I do feel mad, but I'm on probably the next to last level, because I think there's going to be a boss level after this one. I would love to be wrong about that, but I'm predicting one more level after this one. They had to give us this. They had to give us the ice level here at the end, so that's a lot of fun. Oh, I see the mistake I made. This is impossible. We ended up back on Star Soldier. We got to the last level once. That Star Soldier just never ends. I can't, can't wait until you're finally released from it. just seems to go on. I know the pattern, but my jumps don't always read. I've been confused. I've been confused over and over again. I didn't say anything, I don't think, but I've been confused about what this door is and how to get to it. That's the door we came in. That's the entrance. I've been wasting all this mental brain power. I've been wasting all this brain power on trying to figure out how to get over there to that door. That's the door we came in through. My mental brain power. Not my mental power. Not my brain power. My mental brain power. Damageless room 1. Double Dragon's been giving me fits. I beat it before. I should have had it by now. It's tough. It's a, I mean, you know, because you said you've beaten it before, but I mean, I've beaten it once. I wouldn't be confident in my ability to beat it again without a major struggle. I know you got it, though. If you're making it up, you know, I saw you at, like, the next to last guy, I think. You're at the guy with the guns. So, I mean, it's definitely gonna, you know, you're definitely gonna have it here soon. I hate ice physics. I know nobody likes them, but jeez Louise. Twenty 23 is number 1, right? No, I didn't see those. I would trade a toe to have this be the final room of the game. Why? Why is it like this? I hate this game. I hate this game. It's unacceptable. Well, what am I supposed to do about that? That's rude. Oh, I've been cheesing that. Why? Why? Why in the world? Would it be like this? Leave me alone, turkey. No. I got so lucky. No! I forgot that guy had spikes on his head. I forgot that guy had spikes on his head. Oh no. And I started the room with damage. Everything is going awry. Hey, Man Burning, welcome in. Great to see you, my friend. Hope things are well. I don't know if you've played this game, but I strongly recommend avoiding it if you haven't. Pugsley Scavenger Hunt is a real nightmare. Never played this? Doesn't look very polished. It's yeah, it's pretty janky. The whole game has ice physics, and now I'm on an ice level, so it's even like extra icy. The whole game is like slippery and janky, but I'm really far into it right now. Well, good news is I'm really far into it. Bad news is I can only stream for 1 more hour. So if I don't beat it in the next hour, I have to do the whole game again another night because there's no saves and no passwords. And I got a firm cutoff tonight. I almost didn't play this. I almost didn't even play this tonight because I knew I had a firm cutoff, and then I was like, well, I'm probably not going to do very well anyway, so if I do have to throw my progress away, how bad could it hurt? Turns out, it could hurt real bad. Turns out I could have the night of my life and make all the progress and have to throw it all away. But that's just what it's like sometimes, right? That's retro games. They're brutal. None of us are strangers to that around here. Yeah, I know. The first one had passwords, and then for this one, they took the passwords out. They kept everything bad and nothing good from the first one. Oh, will you go in the door, man? What are you doing? How much more of the game is left? I think I'm on the next to last level. There's this level, and then like this appears to be the last level. Well, there's another level or another boss after this. I can't tell which. I don't know if there's going to be a boss level. I expect there will be. So I think I'm on the next to last level, which means I'm not quite as close as I wish I was. Let's just breathe a moment. It's a small world in the chat tonight. No. I am not really sure how to do that without taking a hit. I assume there's got to be a way, though that might not be a very safe assumption. You like to think that the developers have a plan for how you can get past everything in a game without damage ever being mandatory, but so often it's just wishful thinking. Another room. I knew that wasn't going to be the last room, but it still hurts to see something else face to face. I really would prefer not to. I don't know the best way to do this. That worked. No! Rude spikes. I feel like the ice world should have been the default for final worlds in platforming due to the physics. Yeah, I haven't found any extra hearts. I don't think this game has them. But it starts you off with 3, so... It's kind of a... At least there's that. If I only had two, like if I had to do the whole game with 2 hearts, I'd be grumpy. I'd be grumpier. Really? There's nothing in there? Please don't poke me in the face with that icicle. Whoa! Am I gonna have to thread the needle down there? I am. I hate this game. Ah, this is unacceptable. The hitboxes on the spikes are a little bit more generous than they might at first appear. I don't know what to do. We were doing so well. Agent Grumpy. What exactly are you scavenging in this game? So we're not actually actively scavenging anything. It's just that the bosses, you've got a list of scavenger hunt items, but all the items are just the trophies for defeating the bosses. You don't actually have to like search and find anything in the game. You just have to get to the bosses. So it's not super committed to the theme. All these Addams Family games are pretty bad, aren't they? Is there even a good Addams Family game? So far, no. I'm trying to work my way through a whole bunch of them, and so far I've done Fester's Quest on the NES and Addams Family on Super NES. This is only game number 3 for me. And I think Fester's Quest is probably the best of them so far. I kind of went back and forth a little bit on the Fester's Quest and the first Addams Family, like which one I liked best. But I think Fester's Quest is probably the least bad. Yeah, Pugsley's Look for the Boss Hunt. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I can't actively recommend it. Like, it starts off, Fester's Quest starts off really bad, and then it's just kind of mediocre for most of the game. And then depending on how good you are at figuring out the final boss, your mileage may vary for how it ends. I was very bad at figuring out the final boss, so it got really horrible for me. I can't get enough momentum to make that happen. My only hope is to get down there with an extra heart in tow, and I can't make that happen either. Bogus. No! There go our chances. Well, I made it. I still somehow made it further than I've ever been. For now. Ugh. I can't go in there. New PB acquired. If only there were a 2-loop true ending in all these games. It's a real shame. That goose had a cowboy hat. I approve. Okay, this is gonna be real bad. I had another heart? Get out of here. Another room. No, I'm slipping around. Ah! No. I look at the clock and I start to cry. I look at the clock and I start to cry, my friends. Ooh, that was a bad time to jump. I shouldn't have done that. Thank goodness I didn't pay for it. Ugly first room, but we got the first room in one life, so that damage doesn't make me feel as bad as it could. The worst thing about this game is tough to explain, but it has a feature to it. So, like, there are 1-ups in this game, and there are also coins. And when you collect coins, every 25 coins, you get a heart back, and every 100, you get an extra life. But once you collect a 1-up or a coin, it is gone forever. Even if you die and game over and use a continue, there's the coins and 1-ups stay gone permanently. So if you played a level for the first time and that extra health and those 1-ups helped you get real far, well, too bad. On every other playthrough, you have to suffer with no resources. It is the cruelest mechanic I have ever come across. It is wickedly unfair. And I will never forgive the game developers for doing this to me. That is evil. It is perhaps the most evil game mechanic I've ever encountered. Well, this is trash. There was no way I was going to thread the needle through there. That was not fair. to have those blades set up like that? I'm mad. I hope the developers of this game step into a puddle of some very unpleasant liquid while they're walking around in their socks. a very unpleasant liquid. I love how politely Frownie wishes bad things. Trying to... trying to keep it all ages appropriate. Oh, cool. It's another... the blades are out of sync again. I wish the same when I do horrible at a janky game, but I'm less polite about it, Angela says. What this game controls like Battletoads on the NES. If so like on Battletoads, when you double tap, you run in NES Battletoads. This game feels like that, but only running. It feels like if you were permanently double tapped in Battletoads. And now it feels like that plus ice. I love Battletoads, but double tap to run is horrible. And it is horrible in platformers. I don't think there are many among us, though, who would attempt to argue that Battletoads is the pinnacle of video game control. That's a hard position to justify. Sweet potato, Sophie. Welcome in, Sophie. This game is a nightmare. This game is a nightmare. I've definitely played worse, but not often. Or, you know, not by much. It's hard to say exactly what I mean. Oh, cool. This is awesome. That's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm allowing Frownie to enjoy this so I don't have to. Wait, I totally want to play this, I forgot. Oh. Yeah, it's not just ice physics, it's not just spikes. It's not just enemies. But yeah, let's throw some block puzzles in there too. I've only got 20 minutes left, too. I'm gonna have to play the whole game again next week. From the start. That's the worst thing. And Frownie, just say something good about this game. Yeah, this is licensed from the Addams Family cartoon from the 90s. Apparently, I never watched it, but I feel like I did know about it. I remember it existing. But I don't actually remember ever seeing an episode. Well, the thing is that this is actually the sequel to another game. This is the second one they made, so they didn't learn. Not only did they make this awful game, but like they had an opportunity to learn from their mistake the first time and didn't take it. The other one is better somehow. It is. The first one is a little better. It's not good. It's not a good game, the other one. But it's better. I do think I'm going to look at this game with rose-tinted glasses when I finish it. Which, unfortunately, isn't going to be tonight. But I'm certain I can finish this game. I wasn't so sure after night one. After night one, I wasn't thinking like I was ever going to finish this. But now I know know, it's inevitable. We'll finish this game. And when I do, I think that you're going to hear me say, it's not that bad when I talk about it in the future. Once I beat a game, I tend to become very forgiving. I tend to become very forgiving of the games I actually manage to beat. The license got me to rent this game more than once as a kid, Chozo says. I'll use save states so I never have to suffer again, Angela says. I was a toddler, no older than 4. I would tell my parents what I wanted. Would you say they doubled down on the mistakes? They kind of did, yeah. They didn't improve anything that was wrong with the first game. They didn't improve anything that was wrong with the first one. They only added more terribleness. It's every bad thing the first one was, and yet still worse. I would like those coins, but I don't want to do the experimentation required to figure out how to get them. Oh, well, I'm dead already. That... If those spikes don't line up properly, there's no way to get through there without taking a hit, and I couldn't afford a hit. Oh, I hate this game. Oh, cool. Life is great right now. I'm on a fool's errand. I have to get past 2 obstacles that both take a hit out of me. Well, look at that. Can you believe it? I never don't take damage there. You made me happy by playing through it. Not many people will play through this. They started up, play like a minute or 2, and then say it's horrible and give up. Takes a lot. Takes a lot for me to give up on a game. Horribleness is usually not even a factor to cause me to quit. Horribleness more often than not keeps me going. This is the type of game people who complain Nintendo platformers are too easy will enjoy, I bet. No, I haven't played the Real Monsters game, Chozo. I'd like to. We'll play that sometime. I don't know the game must be overcome. I don't actually know the franchise. I never watched the show. I can recognize some of the characters from it. I know what they look like because I guess I saw commercials for it as a kid. But I don't think I ever saw the show. But I'd like to play that. I'd like to give the game a try. The monsters look like they have kind of fun designs. Nah, I'm okay, Chozo. I'd rather let the game be my introduction. I don't need to know anything about the show. You know, like when we played Spawn, I didn't know anything about Spawn. I just let the game be my only, my only touch point for the franchise. I kind of like it like that. When the game's the only thing I know. Because it gives me plenty of opportunity to have a bunch of wrong assumptions. Do you ever have nightmares about games you play and hate? No, I don't. We were talking about that earlier, Nato. I actually don't dream about games pretty much ever. I used to when I was a kid. I would have nightmares about games sometimes. I vividly remember having a nightmare about the Turtles arcade game on NES, and also Super Mario Brothers 3. I had nightmares about those games. That I still remember as an adult. But no, I don't really dream about games at all, and I don't have any nightmares about them. I dream a lot. I dream almost every night, and my dreams are always pretty vivid. I have a very active dream life. I don't often have nightmares. Sometimes I do, but not often unless I sleep for a very long time. If I sleep for more than 9 hours, my dreams will become increasingly repetitive and nightmarish after approximately the 9-hour mark. It's like I have a built-in alarm clock, but a very bad one, because it leads to very unhappy mornings. If that's what gets me up. I don't know what it is, but yeah, if I sleep for too long, my dreams start to repeat and become slowly more and more unsettling. Usually ending in outright terror. But I don't have a lot of nightmares otherwise. Except, for the occasional thing I'll have a nightmare about, I guess. But they're pretty rare. Nightmares about playing Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's a good game. I've never beaten Mario Brothers 3 all the way through without warping. At the World 7. Never made it past it. It was a long time before I did that too, Malachite. I would always use the warp whistles when I was a kid. My strategy for Brothers 3 when I was a kid was that I would play all the way to the beginning of World 5. At the beginning of World 5, there's a mushroom house that always has a Tanuki suit. And I would always play until I get that Tanuki suit and just sort of stockpile items. And then I would use the warp whistles to go to World 8, and then I would just steamroll. Through World 8 with all my power-ups. So I'm really good. I'm still to this day really good at Worlds 1 through 4 and World 8. Sort of World 8. World 8 needs an asterisk by it. I'm pretty good at World 8. 1 through 4 I'm really good at, but I'm really shaky on 5, 6, and 7. I have, of course, now when I play it, you know, as an adult, I play every level and get the most out of my time and money's worth for it, as it were. But yeah, I used to play it in a not very great way. I've never beaten Mario Brothers 3 at all, Nato says. Tried a couple times. Oh, I hope you tackle it someday. I mean, it's definitely deserving of its classic status. It's a good one to check off the list. Kind of the same for me. I have the same dream of sleeping too long and trying to get out of bed, but any attempt ends with me back in bed and freaking out. Yeah, I think that I've been in like this a very similar situation. Does it seem weird that I actually still have fun with SMB1? I love SMB1. I can beat the airship legitimately without P-winging. It's kind of challenging. I really like it, Malachite says. Yeah, and I don't use the... I use power-ups like that very sparingly on my playthroughs now. I usually try to get through everything without resorting to the power-ups in my pocket. Maybe a mushroom or a star or a regular leaf here and there, but definitely not the special powers. Well, I will throw on a Tanuki suit or a Hammer Brothers suit for Bowser's Castle, but that's just because I always want to try to beat Bowser with a costume on. just to have it on at the ending. I hate Mario Brothers 1 physics, Sophie says. I like Brothers 1. I really liked Mario Brothers 35 while that was still live. I had tons of fun with that. They kind of changed the physics in that a bit. It's not exactly the same as the original game, but that's all right. I had a lot of fun with that before it died. I know there's still people like kind of keeping it alive, so you can't. There are ways to kind of play it if you want, but I haven't picked it back up since Nintendo killed it. This is awful. This is awful. This is the worst room in the history of rooms. The room I die in real life, I will not hate as much as I hate this room. Oh my goodness. There's no way. Well, you know, I don't like to dwell on my mortality all the time, but every now and then. I made a challenge a year or so ago to beat SMB1 in under an hour, warpless. Got kind of addicted. Got it down to about 45 minutes. Oh, that's nice. That's a fun challenge. I might would think about copying that someday. That's a fun challenge. Only blemish on one is the castle mazes, Chompy says. Mazes are a bit annoying. I guess it's not too bad to memorize after a few tries. Yeah, the mazes are pretty annoying if you don't play the game regularly, but fortunately they're not all that complicated, so you usually only have to remember like three decisions per maze. Last one is cool, but the others are a bit finicky. For instance, Nintendo decided to give their brand new game an expiration date the day of conception. Mario 35 is part of what kind of got me onto Twitch, because I would play Mario 35 in the morning when I got up, and I got into the routine of playing Mario 35 and looking for a stream where they were also playing it, and I would have a streamer playing Mario 35 in the background while I played it. And that got me spending more and more time with Twitch. Just from that. It's a simple thing, but it was a lot of fun. I only ever got paired. I only ever got paired with a streamer I was watching one time, and it was great. It was great because I beat him. I won the match, and it was so satisfying. It was funny. It was funny because like I didn't know, like we didn't know, I didn't know I was paired with him, and he didn't know I was in his chat. Like he didn't really know. It was a streamer, didn't really know who I was. I was just lurking. But then it came down. We were like the last 3 or 4 players. We were both among the last like 3 or 4 players, and he failed out. And when you fail out, you can spectate the people who are still in the game. And I got suspicious that he was watching me because I was on world 4-1, and I was right at the start with where the 2 question blocks are stacked up together, and I was up on the top, hanging out up there because there were a bazillion Lakitus flying in at every moment, and so I was just kind of hanging out up there, fighting them with the fire flower and trying to find an opportunity to run again. And I heard the guy in the stream say, "Look at this guy. He's just grinding out spinies." I was like, wait a minute. I'm grinding out spinies. I wasn't on purpose, but I knew I was, and I checked it. Sure enough, it was me. And then Isaac became a star. when the stream started. He's a popular guy. He's a popular guy, that Isaac. It's definitely not meant to be tonight, my friends. I didn't have, like, I went in expecting that I wasn't going to beat this game tonight, and then I started doing really well, and I got my hopes up. But then I got to this ice level, and sure enough, victory did not happen. I did it again. Your chances of beating it tonight have frozen over, Sophie says. Yeah, we're done, my friends. Oh, it was a good effort, but it's over. Thank you for being here with me tonight, everybody. We're gonna take a moment. We'll raid out, but yeah, that's it for this game. We got to pick it up again from the start. We'll do it next week. I'll try to put it on a night, hopefully where I can start earlier and even go later. We'll probably get our progress back all right. You know, if we consider how much I improved from night 1 to tonight, you know, if I improve like by even half that amount for night 3, we'll be fine. We'll beat this game. It just tonight wasn't the night. So let me try and find out who is streaming and what they're doing, and we'll pick someone to raid. I'm gonna try and be back. Every night this week. Target time for startup is around 11 p.m. Central Time. Some nights I'll be earlier and some later. If you're in our Discord, just keep an eye there, and I'll try to give you more. I'll try to give you a heads up each evening, so you can be here close to the start if you are not otherwise occupied. Plan for this week. Tomorrow night is Battletoads. We're going to play various Battletoads games. Probably do a run through at least the NES and Genesis games. And then maybe something else. Maybe Game Boy. Maybe Super NES. We'll see. Just a variety of Battletoads stuff. Wednesday night is Friday the 13th on NES. That'll be night 2 for that game. Thursday is going to be Strawberry Shortcake on the PlayStation 2. It's going to be the end of that game. Our final night of that one. And Friday will be Splatterhouse 2. Maybe also Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And we'll play Jump King on any night that we beat a game early. If I beat something early and have some extra time, we'll play Jump King at the end of any of those streams. I predict you'll beat this. I predict you'll beat it the next time you beat Battletoads. I'll beat which game, Angelus? This one? Thank you for the GG, Chozo. Well, I'm not going to play this game with Battletoads. I'm going to play this. This is gonna get its own night, where it's gonna be the main event and star of the whole night. All right, we're gonna do a start of stream raid. It looks like. This is easy compared to Battletoads. Oh yeah, this is fine. We'll get this. This game is, I don't like it, but yeah, I can beat it. I can beat it. Yeah, that's where we're going, Chozo. We're going to Dreamy Magenta Sheep. Playing Metroid Prime, something Metroid related. And just getting started for the night. So we're going to head off in this direction. Be well, everybody. Be well until I get to see you again. Hopefully that time comes real soon. But we're all out of stuff to do here for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.